Hello, hello, it's Patty Joe. It's great to be back after a couple of days. I've had a lot going on, um, maybe switching jobs, so this whole schedule might change a little bit. But let's take a look at some Darrell. We're still on, let's see, where am I? Where's my little cheat sheet? Day two. I think we're still on day two. Let's take a look at what Darrell has to say. Darrell. Must be off the record, but I don't think they're off for two. Maybe they are. Let's skip up here.
Giving you the opportunity to raise the issue since you essentially didn't, well, let me state it this way. You raised it when you thought it was appropriate. I told you I'd take it up outside the presence of the jury. That's what I'm giving you the opportunity to do. What I'm telling you is I'm not going to make a ruling specifically because I need to watch the video.
Oh,
And so
okay.
I don't think that's something you should be rolling your eyes at. That's proper for this.
Okay, so basically, the officer, the one who testified, who was super professional and used all kinds of police jargon and stuff like that, really good witness, but he didn't have a body cam. Probably, thank goodness, because it would have been, well, maybe, I don't know. But basically, he had a camera in his vehicle, and when the three people, Erica, Corey, and Nick, went to they stood in front of the vehicle. He probably does that on purpose so that he can capture it. He's pretty thorough. Um, she, being Erica, said something quietly, but that could be bringing in or opening up evidence. Now, those pre-trial hearings, those pre-trial rulings are warnings to the prosecution. The prosecution cannot ask any questions. Now, I'm not a lawyer, I am just learning this. But my understanding is that the prosecution can't bring it in, they can't ask questions about the past acts or convictions or anything, accusations from Darrell's past. So they can't do that because it would make him look, I don't know how it could possibly make him look worse, but it would make him look even worse than it did before. But I guess the best example is when you go for a job interview, you're not going to tell them all the dirty details of the down low stuff you did at your last job. You're going to tell them what you did that was very good because you don't want to prejudice you want to put your best foot forward. Now, he's already on trial for doing the most vile things ever on earth. Um, top three contenders here out of five. And he definitely, you know, one of the charges is actually assaulting Erica. So they don't want to bring in a bunch of, the defense doesn't want to bring in a bunch of past assaults on Erica to make him look that much worse. Uh, that's my understanding. That's my pretty rudimentary understanding. So he makes an objection, probably his only valid objection in the entire 3 weeks. Everything else was just an interruption or a disruption. He shouldn't have been allowed to say objection. But she is going to take that under advisement. She's going to look at the video. She's going to see if it really does say that. And then they'll both argue whether or not it should stay in, how it should stay in, should they cut it up. Now that the jury's already been exposed to it one time, did they pick up on it? I can tell you, I had to watch a couple of these from a few different people to actually see it and hear it. So, good job, Darrell, I guess. But he now
Court,
he's
it would be
but now he's being petulant because she's not instantly siding with him because he thinks he's done something here. Sure, he thinks that the whole thing should be dismissed based on this one thing, but
something that if I were to just give my ruling right now, it would be something that someone could look at later on and say, well, you just admitted on the record.
okay, I used to say this to my students all the time. I was a clinical director for a paramedic program for a long time, and they used to hit me up in the hallway, and I learned, probably not fast enough, but I learned in my own time. I think myself a pretty fast learner, and that's probably not true, but to never say yes or no right there. They would ask for something. They would want a yes or no right there. I didn't have any of my resources to look anything up or to see what I'd done in the past or what they were saying, and they would. So I started saying, if you want me to answer it right now, it's not going to be to your benefit. It's going to be a straight up no. Unless I can go back and take a look at all these things and consider all of the different rules I had to live by and work by, the answer would be no. And that's what she's saying. She's saying, you have to give me a chance to look at everything. Harley, come here, baby. Come here, darling. You want to come here? She wants me to stop and take her to the PARK for DOGS. Let me check. I don't see any friends there. That's the bad thing about living across the street from the dog park, is that your dog always wants to go.
You didn't hear it yourself. So what I'm telling you, sir, is I'm going to take the time, not now during the trial, but on a break when I can look at it in chambers and keep a careful ear out for what you said, and then I'll come back and make my ruling. So that's giving deference to your request. So I don't think it warrants you rolling your eyes at me.
I wasn't rolling my eyes to you about
So
that.
with that, we're on recess, 15 minutes, everyone.
But I was rolling my eyes about something
Your
else.
Honor,
Ugh. She's not even going to listen to him. Good. Ugh.
Previously ran over.
Okay. So hopefully I got this. I'm not very good at that, so I'm just learning how to hit it right at the right time. She's mad at me now. Okay. Maybe a couple more seconds.
Does the state have the next witness available?
We do, Your Honor.
Your objection is noted for the record. We're continuing, Mr. Brooks. Thank you.
I'm aware of that, Your Honor. I was just trying to make sure I didn't interrupt you while you were saying something. So
State's next witness, please.
will you be proving the subject matter?
Oh my gosh.
Oh, we do. Oh, sometimes I get a little ahead of myself. Let's bring the jury out.
Tenant's motion to dismiss this case for lack of personal and subject matter jurisdiction.
He just wants to go home for sure, don't he?
And I'd like to state that for the record.
Yeah, thank you.
Your statement is noted.
You have not proven subject matter jurisdiction yet, Your Honor.
Yeah, actually she has, but
Are you making a judicial
And I
determination?
direct your attention to the Barnaby decision, Mr. Brooks.
Is that a judicial determination?
yes, it is.
The record should reflect in that I got no answer.
Does this clown really think that he's going to get 6 first-degree murder charges dismissed on a technicality? Does he really think so? Does he really think it? Oh my gosh. Oh, what an idiot. Oh my gosh. And it's not tack it, is it? That's not the way you say it. And then he doesn't stand up for the jury. What does he think that looks like to the jury?
All right, thank you, everyone. Please be seated. State may call its next witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. The state calls Detective Casey.
All right, Detective Casey, if you would please take the witness stand.
I
When
know
you
we're
get
not
there,
gonna get all
please
the way
remain
through this
standing.
one.
Raise your right hand, and my clerk, Teresa, will swear you in.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Thank you. Please be seated. Would you please state your first and last names for the record and spell each?
Thomas Casey, Thomas, Casey, Casey.
Thank you. Go ahead, your witness.
Thank you. Detective Casey, what is your current employment?
I'm employed by the City of Waukesha Police Department.
And what is your rank?
I'm a detective.
How long have you worked in law enforcement?
Over 25 years.
And, directing your attention to the date of November 21, 2021, were you on duty that day, sir?
Yes, I was.
In what capacity?
Well, my rank was detective, but I was assigned to the Christmas parade as traffic control.
Okay. Just helping out?
Just helping out.
All right. And have you patrolled the Christmas parade in the past, sir?
Yes, I have for many years.
Okay. And
He probably volunteers to do that just to see the parade. Honestly, oh, what a great, I mean, how humble.
the parade's always held on Main Street in downtown Waukesha.
This is an example of how did this prosecution and police force and everything get it so right, where Manitowoc, right a few miles away, got it so wrong. And not that they were bad police or bad, but maybe, I don't know, but what a mess.
Waukesha, is that right?
Yes, it is.
Okay. About what time did you report to the parade route?
That day, myself and 3 other people started at 1 p.m.
And where'd you go?
My position was on White Rock Avenue and East Main Street.
Okay. And as a detective, you typically dress in plain clothes, is that correct?
Typically,
That day, were you in plain clothes or a police uniform?
I was in a police uniform.
Could you describe that for the jury, please?
I had a jacket on that had shoulder patches on each side. I had a hat that said police on the top of it. And I had a neon vest on that said police on the front and back of it.
Were you driving a squad car?
I had an unmarked squad with me, and I also had a marked Ford Explorer with me.
And
Irony.
unmarked squad, are there any red and blue emergency lights on that squad, sir?
Yes, there are.
In more than one location?
Yes, the front, rears, and then the sides.
Okay. At your post there on White Rock and Main Street, did you have your unmarked squad parked there?
Yes, I did.
And then there was also a marked squad parked there.
Correct.
Were the red and blue lights activated on those squads?
Yes, they were.
What was the purpose in activating the red and blue lights?
To notify.
Unmarked squad parked there?
I didn't do
Yes,
that.
I did.
And then there was also a marked squad parked there.
Correct.
Were the red and blue lights activated on those squads?
Yes, they were.
What was the purpose in activating the red and blue lights?
To notify traffic that the road was closed down, make it easier to see.
Okay. And you said you reported for duty at 1 p.m.?
Yes.
And about what time was it when you actually went down to the parade route and shut down that intersection?
Right when I got there at 1 p.m.
Okay.
Oh,
So that area was closed since 1 p.m. that afternoon?
Correct. So the area on White Rock Avenue between Niagara and Main Street is the staging area for the parade floats when they come in. So they close that area about 3 hours earlier before the parade starts.
I see. What was the weather like that day?
It's very cold and windy out.
What time was the parade supposed to start?
4 p.m.
And do you know about how many units were participating in the parade?
There were 67 units that were assigned that day.
And all of them are told to report to the staging area to line up before they get onto the parade route, is that right?
Correct. The roadway is closed in my position, and they're all supposed to enter from the north and come south.
Okay. How many spectators would you estimate were present at the parade?
Oh, there had to be at least 5,000 people. There were The parade route is about 6/10 of a mile long. The sidewalks were packed. There were some people in the roadways, so we estimate that there was probably at least 5,000 people watching the parade that day.
Okay.
So just over half a mile.
And you're obviously aware, sir, that there was a tragic event that occurred as the parade was underway, correct?
Correct.
Do you know of the 67 units that you told us about? How many units were impacted directly by the conduct of Mr. Darrell Brooks?
There was 8 units that all had people that were injured during the parade.
And you know which units those are, or which groups those are?
Yes, I do.
If I were to show you video of those groups early in the parade route before the SUV goes through, would you be able to identify those groups for us and tell us a little bit about each one?
Certainly.
All right. Just to be clear, sir, well, if we could please put up Exhibit 1. It's the easiest way to ask my question.
I'm gonna pause it to see.
Exhibit 1 will be followed.
I would quickly like to object to being called that name. I did not recognize the name.
So what?
The prosecutor used.
It's my understanding that once you make an objection, if it's overruled, even if you object, continue, it's already objected to. You don't have to continue to object to it. That's already on the record. You don't have to keep bothering people and interrupting. That's just a disruption tactic. If I'm correct.
Your objection is noted, it's overruled.
Clown.
So, again, the direction of travel.
I'm gonna, okay, because he said just over half a mile. So let's estimate this at approximately, let's call this like the first 10. So this is 1, 2 blocks, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so roughly a little bit under 1/10 of a mile per block. This is less than a mile. And each block about a little less than 1/10. Let's call it 1/10 just to make it easy for my math because, slow girl. But that's like, I used to run half marathons. That would be like nothing. I wouldn't even think about running that far. That would take, a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, a minute, 2 minutes, 2 minutes, tops. That would be 2 minutes. Now, at the end of the 13 miles, I'd be yelling at you, don't tell me I'm almost done, but okay.
Travel for the parade is which direction, sir?
The parade starts in this area right here.
Okay.
This here is the staging area, and it travels this way, which is southwesterly fashion, and then it proceeds this direction, which is west.
So of the 67 parade participant groups of varying sizes, some will have 12 people, some will have 100 people, some will be just one vehicle or no vehicles, and some will be, the Remax truck with the big balloon on the back. Or, the marching band was already in there, but marching bands can have, a couple hundred people, depending on how big the school is, or 100 people. It could be very large. So of the 67 participant groups, 8 were in the parade route proper, so the Main Street side. So when he was driving down here, passed over 50 huge groups of people on the sides getting ready to zipper in for the parade. Okay. Yeah, that was hard to miss. But I guess they weren't as important as Darrell.
Okay. So the units that were struck first by the SUV were near the end of the parade, correct?
Near the end or maybe the middle. There were still some parades that haven't even started the parade route yet, and there were some that had already finished.
Okay.
Okay, so maybe
And
less
so,
than still.
We'll just play these videos, please, and I'm gonna ask you again, as we play them, to identify the various groups that were impacted. So,
Attorney Upper, any request as relates to the annotation?
no, I don't think so, not at this time, Your Honor. We can let that one go.
All right, Mr. Brooks? Any request as it relates to the annotation?
I don't understand what is annotation.
Next time, wait. Sure. The monitor, the touch screen made annotations, made marks. We've been capturing it. The state said they were not asking that an exhibit be made. Unfortunately, they're no longer on there. So we won't have the specific markings. Would you have wanted those markings to be captured? Okay, because I would give instructions to Detective Casey to redo them if you wanted.
No.
All right, then go ahead.
All right, so I'm gonna ask, we're gonna preview Exhibit 10, please. Do you see the beginning of Exhibit 10 on your screen, sir?
No, I do not.
Uh-oh.
It should be, it might take a second or two.
I have an image on there now.
Okay, do you recognize that image?
Yes, I do.
And do you know Exhibit 10 to be a video clip?
Yes, I do.
Looking at it right now, do you recognize the group that is displayed on that first screenshot, I guess, from the video that's displayed?
Yes, I do.
Okay, and what group do you see there, sir?
The Catholic Communities of WAUKESHA.
Okay,
So they must have gone pretty early in
and
the parade. Catholic community.
do you believe this clip that we're about to show?
Because remember, the ones he hit last were the groups that went first. Because they were towards the end of the route of the parade. I'm slow.
Show the jury will be a truthful and accurate representation of the parade units as they entered the parade route.
Objection, here's that.
Overrule.
Yes, I do believe that they do.
Okay. Move to admit number 10 and permission to publish, Your Honor.
For the record, how long is Exhibit 10?
It is 3 minutes and 31 seconds, Your Honor.
Any position by
Object.
Mr. Brooks?
Object with
Grounds.
What are the grounds of what?
Your objection is noted, it's overruled.
what are the grounds?
Grounds of what? They're admission.
Permission, the Exhibit 10 is received, permission to publish is granted.
What are the grounds, Your Honor?
It's relevant.
Mr. Brooks, your objection is noted, it's overruled.
It's makes some sense.
I'll answer this, I believe the evidence is relevant to the charges in this case.
What are the grounds? They don't have to have grounds. You do for objecting.
Detective Casey, before we begin playing the video, what do you see? Could you please describe for the jury and orient them to what they're seeing at this point?
So this would be the Catholic Communities of WAUKESHA. They would be marching westbound on Main Street, which is at the early beginning of the parade. And the cross street there would be East Avenue, and the church behind them should be St. Matthias Church.
Okay. And did they have a banner in front of their group as they marched down the road?
Yes, they do.
Okay. To your knowledge, sir, you've seen many videos from this parade, correct?
Correct.
And you saw some of these units, at least as they entered the route, correct?
Correct.
Did the Catholic Community of Waukesha, did the participants for that group wear any specific clothing or uniforms, to your knowledge?
No, they do not.
The objection is noted, it's overruled, and the answer may stand.
And to your knowledge, did they walk in any sort of formation?
It was just a random formation. Sometimes they changed a little bit as they were walking.
Okay. Please play.
They got like little kids running around in their little group.
And now at about the 24-second mark, what's the next unit coming into the screen?
The Dancing Grannies.
Okay, and
Right.
they had a banner?
Correct.
Okay,
And the woman on the left-hand side of the screen is Virginia Sorensen.
on the left-hand side of the screen, or the left-hand side of the street?
Of the banner. How about of
Question
the banner?
asks who the person was.
I'll sustain the objection. The answer was non-responsive. I'll strike it. Next question. Juries, she'll disregard the last answer provided by Detective Casey.
All right. Actually, we're just gonna play this and we won't identify any people at this point. To your knowledge, sir, did the Dancing Grannies have a uniform?
Yes, they did.
Do you remember generally what it looked like?
It was a blue dress. They had hats. They had some lights around them.
Okay.
White tennis shoes.
Okay. And did they march in a formation, to your knowledge?
Yes, they did.
Okay. Please play.
Little pom-poms and stuff. A little routine. Oh my gosh. This is a good parade. They're getting caught up in the parade. See, that's what I want to do. I want to be a dancing granny. Look at that.
What's that vehicle, sir?
It's a support vehicle for the Dancing Grannies.
All right. Did you happen to see that? No, strike that. All right. So that they had a banner in front and then a white, looked like SUV type vehicle at the rear of their group?
Yes.
Okay. Now that was the 146 mark. I paused, and we will continue to play.
Looks like some kind of float.
And if you could please pause. At the 205 mark, which unit is this, please?
This would be Citizens Bank.
Okay.
And did these participants have a uniform or something that would be recognizable?
Not really uniform, but a couple of ladies got together and wore the same pants and
It's like a theme,
jackets
maybe?
over the top, and then some Santa hats.
Okay.
Okay.
And they had this float associated with their unit?
Yes.
Okay. Did they march in a formation, to your knowledge?
No, just sort of random. They were handing out candy, walking around, and no specific place.
Okay. Play. Do you know about how many people are involved with this unit?
Objection irrelevant.
Overruled. You may answer.
I would estimate about 35 girls, younger age, varying.
Okay. And again, they started with a banner in the front.
Yes.
Did they have a support vehicle involved as well?
Yes, pickup truck that there were two people in the back of the bed, which were resupplying the candy for the people that were marching.
Okay.
Oh, that's
Did
the
these girls
extreme
have a
dance
certain
group.
uniform?
Yes, they did.
What do you remember about their uniform?
Black tights, black sweater, white tennis shoes, and they all had a headband on
Okay.
that lit up.
It had to be
To your
freezing.
knowledge, did they march in formation?
The girls in the front, there was
Freezing.
4 different groups of girls based on sort of their age and their ability. The girls in the front had more of a formation than some of the tiny tots that were in the back.
Okay. Play.
That must be where the music came from too. Oh, look at him. Darrell comes through and the little ones with the pom poms. Look. I can't keep myself together knowing what's going to happen.
All right, that's the end of that clip. I'd like to show you another clip that's been marked as State's Exhibit number 11 so that we can continue with the parade units, please. We'll preview it for you, sir.
Your objection is noted, it is overruled. And you may question the witness regarding the exhibit.
Thank you.
What's the relevancy?
Would note for Mr. Brooks that in addition to being relevant to the charges, it also goes to background and context. Background to the event.
The event that you.
Events that led up to
Like
all
detail,
of the charges,
The
reason
crime.
for why we're here.
detail background.
Detail
Regarding the
background.
parade, sir.
It's the parade that you
I
ran
don't
through.
understand, but okay. Don't understand.
Okay. That's a
Your
lie.
statements noted for the record.
Look at the liar lines. Look at the liar lines. I call these liar lines. Because you know he understands exactly why the parade is the foundation of the whole crime. Ugh. Clown.
Having technical difficulties, Judge, trying to spin the video to get it upright.
So I'm wondering if these are videos like from just the crowd of people. Again, I have to say, this is considered a crime, like a series of crimes that he did all within a small amount of time. I don't know what that's called. I'm sure people who are lawyers or law enforcement would know much better than I would. So it's not like a mass thing, like, but a series of them, and in a small amount of time. And he decides to do this in where the entire town gathers with video going on and CCTV from businesses. And, it's not like you're in an alley hiding yourself from what's going on. This clown waits for everybody to gather so that they can have video representation of all of his misdeeds. And then he's going to try to say, it wasn't me. Or how do you know it was me? Who is you? That's gonna go down in the law books as the most philosophical question. Who is you? Doofus. So much like me, this is, probably recorded upside down, and somebody's got it. Most of my recordings of my family are like that. If it's me. That's why I need so much help with this situation.
I apologize, sir. All right, going to Plan B here.
Uh-oh. Are we disturbing you, Darrell? Do you have somewhere to be? You and your liar lines? Okay, they come up with it in a minute.
Turn it up right, Judge. This could take a minute to get explained.
It's up on my monitor and the witness monitor, and it is
All right, thank
right side up.
I appreciate everyone's patience. I apologize. All right, sir. You now see the front screen of State's Exhibit number 11, correct?
Yes, I do.
And it's upright.
Correct.
Okay. And you have seen State's Exhibit number 11 before, correct?
Yes, I have.
Do you believe it's a
Hold
true?
on, there's been an objection. Are you objecting to the question?
I'm objecting to, is that the same video?
I don't see the same person that was directly in the camera view when it was sideways. It looks like a totally different video.
Sir, it's not been admitted yet. The state's laying a foundation for that.
They probably just went up a few.
And I'm gonna let them continue questioning.
So overruled.
So, Detective Casey, you have seen State's Exhibit number 11 before, correct?
Yes, I have.
And you believe it's a true and accurate representation of the events of November 21, 2021.
Objection.
Yeah.
Hearsay.
It's over.
He
your
believes
objection
it,
is
that's
noted,
not
it's overruled.
hearsay.
Yes, I do.
All right, move for admission of number 11 and permission to publish, Your Honor.
Mr. Brooks, any position on the admission of Exhibit
Yes,
11?
I definitely object. This is not the same video that was just attempted to be shown. This is a totally different video.
Mr. Brooks, your objection is noted. There wasn't much testimony about whatever that prior exhibit was, and I'm going off of his testimony about seeing this particular video clip. There's the still image in front of him that he identified he previously reviewed, and it's accurate, true and accurate. So based on that, your objection's noted, but it is overruled. I'll receive Exhibit 11. Permission to publish is granted.
Can you strike the last video then that didn't?
The last video wasn't admitted, sir. There were technical issues, they moved on. We will continue, go ahead.
Okay, so again, please orient us, Detective Casey.
So we are now a little bit further west on Main Street. This is about maybe 2 blocks west of the last location, and the cross street it would be at is northwest Barstow Street.
Okay. And what unit is shown on the screen at the moment?
This would be the WAUKESHA Blazer support vehicle, and then the baseball players come shortly behind it.
So
Okay.
there's a little baseball
And
team.
to your knowledge, did this group walk in any certain formation?
No, they didn't. They walked around. They were also handing out candy, just sort of walking around, mingling with the crowd and themselves.
Okay. And were some of the players wearing their baseball jerseys?
Yes, they were.
And other individuals just had on like hats and coats and nothing discernible, correct?
Objection. Irrelevant. Everybody
Had on coats and hats.
Your objection's noted, it's overruled.
And
So most of the
stupid.
players had their jerseys on with their numbers on the back, but there was also some coaches that were marching with them, and they just had regular jackets and hats that were on when they were walking.
Okay. Please play.
This makes me want to go to a parade. And then you remember what happened, what he did.
The Barris Logistics, you can see the pickup truck that's pulling a float that has the Grinch on the back.
Okay. Please play.
Oh, the Grinch, I see him, okay.
And now at the 103 mark, we've paused it. What's the next unit coming into view?
This would be the WAUKESHA South High School Marching Band.
Go ahead.
Pretty sizable band. There's your drummers.
And if you could pause, what's that unit right there in the middle?
Well, there's the mascot first for the WAUKESHA South Band, and then directly behind that is the Remax Realty support vehicle.
Okay. Is it easy to distinguish the Remax vehicle?
Yes, they had a big hot air balloon basket on the back, and they had a flame that was blowing out the top. It was
Okay.
very noticeable.
Okay. Please play. And we're gonna stop it there at about the 2:15 mark, so that's the Remax group going through, correct, sir?
That is correct.
Okay. Are those the 8 units that were most directly impacted by Mr. Brooks' actions on the parade route, sir?
Yep.
I do not recognize that name or consent to being called that.
Your objection's noted, it's overruled.
Yes, they were.
In addition to that, there were some spectators that were injured, is that correct, sir?
He's
Correct.
just like
There's, I would say, 3 different groups
validating that
of,
that's his name
people,
by
spectators
objecting
that
to
were sitting
it.
on the south.
I'm sorry. He's just validating that he is Darrell Brooks by saying just because she said it doesn't mean she's directing it at him at all. She's just saying, it's kind of like saying if you're a sovereign citizen, why did you stop your car for the police or why did you go to court if you don't believe this applies to you? So if he doesn't think that name applies to him, why does he keep objecting to it? He's just saying, oh, wait, pay attention to me.
The roadway that were also
Sure.
injured.
Okay.
What a joke.
At some point,
Sorry.
did you and other members of the Waukesha Police Department attempt to identify all the individuals who were injured as a result of Mr. Brooks' actions on the parade route?
Objection, I do not consent to being called that name.
Overruled.
Yes, we did.
And about roughly how many people was that?
There are over 60 people that were injured that we identified.
Okay. Were you able, through your investigation detective, to determine where along the parade route each of these individuals were located at the time they were injured?
Yes, we were.
And were you able to map that information so that we can present it to this jury?
Yes.
I'd like to please put up number 15 in preview mode.
Go ahead.
Detective, do you see State's Exhibit number 15 on the screen?
Not yet.
Okay, sorry. Is it up?
No.
Okay. Okay, please tell me when it is.
It is up now.
All right. Can you please identify State's Exhibit 15?
This is a map that I put together that identifies the officers that were on the scene, certain locations of interest that people mentioned when they were interviewed. Also identifies the victims and the deceased that died during the parade event.
Is this an accurate summary of your investigation, sir?
Yes, it is.
Move to admit number 15 and permission to publish.
Mr. Brooks, any position? Your objection's noted. The exhibit is received subject to all of the other events laying the foundation for this are ultimately presented to this jury, but you may publish as well.
Thank you. All right, and please, Ms. Gussie, if you could zoom in on the upper right-hand corner again, we'll start there again. All right, so first in the upper right-hand corner, you've designated where the location of White Rock School and the altercation with Miss Erica Patterson that we had testimony about earlier, correct?
Correct.
And then moving down White Rock, we see the location where Sergeant Warner was, correct?
Correct.
And then we'll keep moving down, please.
So this one here is his first injury.
Okay, good. I see your name in the middle of the map, sir. Could you start at that spot and describe what's in that area and then start working down the street towards Buckley?
So my location, I had 2 vehicles with me, an unmarked Ford Taurus and a marked Ford Explorer. We had put the squad and the two squads in plastic barricades diagonal, so the parade traffic could continue on westbound, and the vehicular traffic that was on East Main Street and Pleasant Street could make turns, and so we wouldn't obstruct traffic that much.
Could you draw that path for us, what you're referring to?
So the vehicles could continue this way without being stopped.
Okay.
Or the opposite way. And then the flow of the parade came this way down to my location and continued westbound without being obstructed.
Okay. I'm not asking for that to be captured, Your Honor.
Let me ask Mr. Brooks if he's asking that the annotations be captured?
I thought you already ruled that they wouldn't be.
No, that was for that one particular.
We don't need it on this one.
All right, then it won't be captured. Go ahead and clear.
All right, sir. Through your investigation, were you able to determine who was the first person struck by the defendant's vehicle?
Yes, I was.
And who was that?
Nicole White.
She was with the Remax group?
Yes.
And where was she when she was struck, if you could show us on the diagram?
She was on West Main Street, just west of Northwest Barstow Street.
Okay. And if you could please show us more of the bottom of the map, Ms. Gussie.
Hold on, before you move.
Okay.
Any requests to capture that annotation from the state or the defendant?
No.
Mr. Brooks?
Yes, caption it.
All right,
Capture
we'll
it.
capture that. Will be 1D.
Actually, this isn't 1, this is 15.
Oh, sorry, 15D.
8.
Yes, 15A. Thank you for that correction.
This is complicated.
Okay, now, is it captured, Madam Clerk? I see it, yep. Okay. Please? Okay. The next unit to have been struck by the defendant's vehicle was what?
The WAUKESHA South Band.
And we see the names of the individuals in the band that were injured by the SUV, is that correct?
That is
all of
correct.
these.
Okay, and that location you've identified near the subway and another business known as Divino Gelato,
Correct.
okay? What was the next, well, I guess the next unit or individuals to be struck were spectators, is that correct?
That is correct. It'd be Charles Green and Lily Green.
And they were near the Martha Merrill bookstore, correct?
They were on Main Street, just west of Gasper Street,
Okay,
sitting on a little bump out from the curb.
okay, and they were spectators,
Yes.
okay. The next group to have been struck,
It would be, the group is Bears Logistics Group.
okay. And what
So
were
that was
they,
the
what
Grinch.
business were they to have been struck?
It would be, the group is Bears Logistics Group.
Okay.
The Grinch.
And what were they, what business were they struck nearby?
They were by Bosco Social Club.
Okay, now we need to
Jesus.
go to the top of the map again, please.
Oh my God.
The
Here's-
next unit that was struck by the defendant's SUV,
It'd be the Waukesha Blazers Baseball Club.
and how many individuals with the Blazers were impacted by the SUV?
5 directly.
with
And their
one
names are
fatality.
listed there on exhibit 15.
Yes, they are.
And that's the first
And
fatality.
Jackson Sparks' name is highlighted in red. Why?
He's one of the 6 deceased people from this incident.
Okay. The next unit to be impacted,
That would be the Extreme Dance Team.
Oh my
and,
gosh.
the names associated with that team are listed on exhibit 15.
He
Yes,
hit them
they are.
all.
And what was the general area and the street where they were impacted? What business?
They were right in front of Mama Ducky's Bakery, or Chef Pam.
Okay.
It's right before the 5 Points in Waukesha, which is an area where Broadway and Main Street cross.
Okay. Can you zoom back into the 5 Point area, please? Okay. And were there any spectators injured in that exact area?
Yes, there were.
And who was that, please?
Isaac Foglia and Deborah Ramirez.
Okay. And then, getting
Oh,
through
okay, I
the
see.
5 Points, what was the next group impacted?
It would be Citizens Bank.
Okay. And that was Jane Kulik,
Correct.
and she was fatally injured?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, right here.
The next group? Or I
Dancing
guess the next group is actually spectators.
Okay,
Correct.
here.
There was 3 children that were sitting on the north side of the roadway on the corner of Clinton Street and West Main, and they were struck by the vehicle when it came through.
What business is located right there?
The Steaming Cup is on the northwest corner of that intersection, so they were very close to that.
Okay. The next unit that was impacted,
That would be the Dancing Crannies.
and that was just past Clinton Street, sir?
Correct, just west of Clinton on West Main Street.
Okay. And you've listed the names of the persons that were injured by the defendant's vehicle associated with the Dancing Grannies, correct?
The injured and the deceased.
Okay. And again, you've designated the deceased with red, color red,
Yes,
and the others were just injured.
correct.
Okay. And that was near a couple businesses that you noted on the map, sir?
That took up a very large part of the roadway. That was very spread out, but Donnie Boy's Tap, Curry Insurance, those are the 2 most common businesses in that area.
Okay. And if we could move on to the last group. Sorry. What was the last group to be impacted by the defendant's vehicle?
The Catholic Communities of Waukesha.
Look at how many
And
names.
have you listed there the
You hit 'em
names of
all.
all the individuals who were injured by the defendant's vehicle related to the Catholic Communities of Waukesha?
Yes, I have.
Overruled.
I don't identify or consent to being called
Who
the
cares?
defendant.
Your objections
defendant.
noted.
Stupid.
And is there a business or entity nearby that, in the area where the Catholic community was struck?
Ironic.
The closest place would be Planned Parenthood.
Ironic.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Okay, I'm going to stop it here because I just think that is just to leave this up to see all the green names are injured people, some of which were just spectators, kids sitting on the corner watching a parade. And the red ones are the people who lost their lives. The first one being Jackson Sparks, just a little kid. I think that's I'm gonna take a little break here. Okay, so I appreciate everybody. Share, like, subscribe. I appreciate everybody's comments. I do read them. Sometimes I try to respond. I'm not as savvy with tech as some people. Fun fact, I don't even own a TV. This is my only access to the outside world in my home whatsoever. So I don't even own a television set and haven't for a very long time. So people say, well, what do you aim your couch to? Or what do you do? Well, I do this, first of all. So this is kind of a hobby. Anyway, so fun fact. Like, subscribe, share, whatever you feel. Comment, please. I love it. And I'll be back another day to, I'm going to go take a walk with the dog for a little while and decompress.